I am going to be creating a airfoil, or what do they call it, a fairing for the front of the roof rack that we made for our Jeep. We built the roof rack out of electrical conduit. I'd love to show you that project in the video, but we didn't take video of it. So anyway, I'll show you the roof rack right now, and then I'll show you what we're going to do to put the fairing on the front. Okay, this is the roof rack that we made. My son actually built this. Made it out of electrical conduit here. As you can see, it's got wooden slats on the bottom with screws holding it together. And we have discovered as we drive, especially at highway speeds, it really whines. It makes a lot of noise. And so what am I going to do to build a fairing on the front of that? Well, since we live in the mountains, as you can see back there, I have decided I'm going to use a snowboard. This is an old snowboard I picked up at a thrift shop for about $5. And in order to do this, the way I'm going to try it first is with these clamps, bolts, lock washers, and nuts. Got a marker and a tape measure to measure things out. I'm going to put the clamps around the top bar and screw them into the edge of the snowboard. And hopefully, I think it's going to be tight enough that I should be able to adjust it to the position I want and just leave it. Hopefully it won't bounce on the roof of the car. We'll figure that out. If it does, maybe I can get some rubber hose or something to put on the bottom edge of the snowboard. But anyway, that's the idea. Here we go. Okay, first thing I've got to do is measure where these upright posts are. So I'm going to take my tape measure and measure across the top here, figure out exactly where these posts are so that I don't drill holes where the posts are, because I'm going to want my clamps to go probably right here on the inside of the posts on both sides. Maybe 2 on either side of that post. And I've got 5 of them. I'm not sure I'm going to need 5. But anyway, we'll see. Okay, I've measured out my spots. I made little marks there with the Sharpie at 3.5. See, where's the other one? 22.5 is where? Right there. 25.5 is right there. And then 44.5 is right down here somewhere. There it is. 44.5. So I've made the little marks. Gonna take my little thing here and see how far in they're actually going to be so I can be exact, and then drill the hole for each of these, and we will see how that goes. Okay, you see right here there's a little bit of a hole there where I'm supposed to drill. What I did was I took a screw and I held it right in the center of the hole, and I hammered it in with this hammer right here, so that my drill bit won't slip as I'm drilling the holes, because I want to make sure those holes go, straight through, don't slip, that they're just where I want them. So I first did the pre-holes, I guess you'd call it, with my drill bit, and now, or with my screw. And now I'm going to get my drill bit set right on there, and I am going to drill the hole straight through. So there's one. I've already done one of these, by the way. I just wanted to test it. Okay, so there's 3. Now here's my last one right here. There we go. There's 4 holes. Okay, since I'm doing this by myself, it's taking a little bit of doing to hold the camera and do the work at the same time. So I already did 2 of these. You see I've got the machine screw through. I've got a lock washer and a bolt and a nut on the other side. And I can tell I'm probably going to have some issues down here with this one, or at least one of the 2 on the ends, because of the shape of the board. You see, when I get this one lined up, this one goes out of line because the board is out of whack. So I think what I'm going to have to do is probably slide those further down to a more straight part of the board and drill holes there. So we'll see. I'm just working on it. We'll get there. Okay, here's the thing installed. I'm not exactly happy with it, and I'll show you why. I just want to give you a look at it real quick. See, it looks pretty cool. I think it's a good concept. Problem is, my clamps up here don't hold it tight enough. This is not going to bounce on the roof. I think it's going to hit the roof when you're going at highway speeds. And I'm about to take it for a test drive and find out. But if that's the case, if it turns out that it bounces too much, I'm going to figure out some way to put a brace up inside of here. It goes out, maybe screws into the board, holds it where it's supposed to be. Haven't quite figured that out yet, but you know, we'll do something. Okay, after the test drive and no bouncing on the roof, we even have a dirt road right here that I was driving on pretty hard and got up 70, 75 and no bouncing on the roof. So I think that the bolt and nuts could loosen over time, though I put lock washers on so they shouldn't. But my hope is that it's going to be fine. If it does loosen, then we'll figure out some way to do a brace, and it shouldn't be a big deal. But it definitely cut down on the whine and the howl that happened when you drove at highway speeds without it. So I like it.